Disclaimer: I do not own the Haikyuu characters that are to be used in this story. Photos or covers were picked from Google. Credits to the owner.
Me, Shoyo, alongside Kenma-san, Hitoka, and Tobio, headed to the city to celebrate a festival. We were wearing some traditional clothes. Where is Izumi-kun? I asked. Oh, he is already there. Since Koji was summoned to the city yesterday, Shoyo replied. I nodded. When we reached the entrance of the city, Kuru-san. He looked at me from head to foot as he said, never thought someone would call me that aside from this cutie patootie elf here. Tetsu-san. Shoyo whined. Gomen, Tetsuro-san came near Kenma-san and hugged him. How are you kitten? I'm not a kitten, Kuro, Kenma-san replied flatly. Kenma, Tetsuro-san exclaimed. The two cats start to walk inside the city as we follow. That won't be a coincidence. Shoyo knew everyone's surname, but in this realm, they don't have surnames. I was still deep in my thoughts that I hadn't noticed that we were already inside the city. Wow, there are lots of foods here, Shoyo excitedly said. Hitoka chuckled and commented, you're so a foodie, Shoyo-kun. Let's try to taste every food here, Shoyo said. I stared at him as he showcased his bubbly personality. Sure, we head to each food stall that Shoyo wants to try. He savors every food that he eats. Cute. After we ate, everyone separated. Kenma and Tetsuro had their date. Tobio found his pack mates, Yutaro and Akira. Hitoka found Kyoko and decided to join her while waiting for her husband. Shoyo and I roamed around the other stalls in the area, playing some games. We've also met Keiji-san and Kotaro-san along the way, having also their date. We were strolling around some souvenir stall when Shoyo stopped in front of the jewelry. He stared intently at the set of rings. I looked at Shoyo as he fidgeted. Do you want one? I asked. Yeah, he whispered. The old lady took notice of us and greeted her. Hello, young man. Are you interested in some couple ring? I looked at the old lady as I replied, yes, ma'am. As I looked at the set of jewelries, that's when I took notice of one of the set of rings. It is the same ring that I was supposed to use when I and the human Shoyo got married. I'll take this set, please, I said as I pointed at the set of rings. She looked at the rings I pointed and sighed with relief. You've chosen a wonderful ring, young man. She took the rings and gave it to me, and then she stared at Shoyo and said, make sure to treasure it this time. I was a little confused about what the old lady said. How much is the ring? I asked. It's free, she smiled. Thank you. I stared at Shoyo as he smiled at the old lady. It's a different smile. It is like he shows too much gratitude towards the old lady. Chibi-chan. Shoyo looked at the person who mentioned Chibi-chan. I also looked at the person approaching us. Toru-sama. Shoyo gasped and bowed. Oikawa-san. Shoyo nudged me and signaled me to also bow, which I confusingly followed. Why are we bowing? I whispered. He is the king, he whispered back. Chibi-chan. Stop being too formal with me. Toru-sama whined. Toru-sama, we are in public. I can't do that. No, we're in a celebration. You can treat me like anyone else, he said. But, no buts, the king interjected. He stares at me and realizes who I am. Oh, you are the human. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty, I said as I thought to myself, weird to call Oikawa-san, Majesty instead of Kageyama. Shoyo suddenly giggled. He stares at both of us and smiles. Enjoy your stay while it lasts. Your Majesty. A firm shout from the distance was heard. Oh, gotta run. See you around, Shoyo. Toru-sama waved. As Toru-sama ran, I saw a panther run past us to chase after Toru-sama. Go, Hajime-san. You can catch the Majesty when you turn to the right. Shoyo shouted. Thanks, Sho, the panther, which was named Hajime-san, said. I hate you, Shoyo. Toru-sama said, which made Shoyo giggled. He looked at me and said, "Let's head somewhere else." I nodded. I followed Shoyo towards a meadow. It was full of dandelions, and there was a tree in the middle. We came near the tree and sat in its shade. "We can watch the sunset here and afterwards the fireworks," Shoyo said. We were enveloped by a comfortable silence. As the sun sets, I watched Shoyo's resting face as the wind blew. "Beautiful," I muttered. He hummed as he opened his eyes and looked at me. Brown eyes met by golden brown. As the two stared at each other, TsukiHina took Elf Shoyo's hand and put the ring on his ring finger. TsukiHina kissed the ring and said, "I will always love to watch every sunrise and sunset with you." Elf Shoyo was silent, absorbing every word that TsukiHina said. What can he do? He misses this man so much. As the sun fully set, Shoyo hugged TsukiHina tightly. "I love it too." And so the fireworks start to occupy the sky, illuminating them. They loosened their hug and intertwined their fingers as they watched the fireworks. After the fireworks display, they're still at the meadow, enjoying each other's company. TsukiHina has his head in Elf Shoyo's lap while Shoyo plays with his hair. Can we stay here just for a while? Elf Shoyo agreed as he caressed the latter's hair. He hummed some melody to accompany the silence between them. Slowly, there are fireflies all over the place. Shoyo knows it is time for TsukiHina to go back to the human realm. As he caresses the latter's face, he kisses his forehead. TsukiHina wants to open his eyes, but he can't. His eyelids felt heavy. He wanted to see Shoyo, but his whole body got tired all of a sudden. "I love you, Kei," Shoyo said, full of affection. TsukiHina wants to reply, to say he loves him too. Even though the elf Shoyo kept saying he was not the same as the human Shoyo before, TsukiHina knows deep in his heart that it was his Shoyo. "It's time to wake up, my dear." A single tear from Elf Shoyo fell on TsukiHina's cheek as he disappeared, blending with the fireflies. TsukiHina slowly opens his eyes. Suki, can you hear me?" In the distance, he can hear a familiar voice shouting, "Nurse, nurse." TsukiHina already regained consciousness. TsukiHina stared at the person near him and recognized Tadashi. "Hey, it's okay. Everything is fine," Yamaguchi said as he wiped the latter's tears. TsukiHina didn't realize he was crying. He cannot distinguish why it felt like he wasn't in this place all this time. Like he forgot something that he was supposed not to forget. Like some events were erased from his memory. As TsukiHina vanished from Shoyo's grasp, his tears started to fall non-stop. No words could describe his feelings at that moment. He sobbed as he held the ring that once was worn by TsukiHina. He knew that would be the last time that they would be together. The unbearable pain to face the reality that they won't be with each other ever again. Not this lifetime, not in the next. He wails, wishing that every wail can lighten up the pain he feels. In the safe distance, Shoyo's friends were standing, tears falling from their eyes. Those wails are enough for all of them to know what the elf feels. Kenma broke the silence between them. "Did you know that elves don't exist in our realm?" Everyone looked at Kenma, confused about what he was saying. "What do you mean? Shoyo is an elf. How come you say that elf doesn't exist?" Wolf Tobio angrily said. "He was a crow before," Fairy Hitoka whispered. As Leprechaun you heard what Hitoka said, he asked, "What do you mean he is a crow?" Kenma said, "Shoyo was a shapeshifter before. He is a crow. I also saw a record in the city," Hitoka said. "Being an elf is a punishment from the gods," Kenma said as he fists his hand. The realization took on Al-Keiji as he muttered, "Don't tell me." "What punishment?" Wolf Tobio asked, getting more confused. "The legend says we are connected to the human realm. We have our counterpart. Both realms don't know that we coexist. No one is allowed to cross from this realm to the human realm. Long story short, a human soul can step foot in this realm if they've been punished by the gods or they are given a chance to step foot here," Al-Keiji explained. "What is the connection of that legend to Shoyo being an elf?" You asked, to which Izumi replied, "Elf is more likely an identifier that the person is a prisoner." Human Shoyo made a grave action, Kenma said, followed by Hitoka. He took his own life. Everyone gasps from the revelation. As his soul transported into this realm, turning the crow Shoyo into an elf Shoyo. All the memories of the crow Shoyo vanished and were replaced by the memories of the human Shoyo, and turned into elves, Kenma said. He'll retain his memories from his human self as a punishment and watch his loved ones every single day, Hitoka added. Kenma chuckled at the cruel reality. Watching Kei in the distance every single day. Tobio, getting a little angrier, muttered, why would they bring Kei here? Shoyo already suffered enough. Why would they have done something like this? Only the gods know why they'll do this. Either to challenge or to punish more or to give chances, Keiji said. Everyone was quiet, absorbing the details that they've learned. The wailing also stops. Cat Kenma looked in Shoyo's direction and found the elf, too exhausted, and already asleep. Can I accompany him tonight, Kenma-san? Tobio asked, wishing to be the one to accompany the elf. Cat Kenma looked at Wolf Tobio as he understood, sure. He looked at the rest of their friends and said, let's head home. One by one left the place, and Cat Kenma stared again in Shoyo's direction where Wolf Tobio was already there and picked up the sleeping elf. Kenma, are you okay? Cat Tetsuro asked. Yeah, I'm okay, Cat Kenma replied. The sadness was evident in his tone. Tetsuro simply hugged Cat Kenma tightly and whispered, I love you, Kenken. He knew the sudden affection that the black feline gave him was just a reassurance that he was okay. It was a sensitive topic not just for Shoyo but also for him. After all, Cat Kenma almost vanished at the same time the elf Shoyo appeared. He squeezes Cat Tetsuro's forearm as he says, yeah.
To be continued. If you like this video, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button. Bye!